What's up, everybody? This is the undeniable, unfiltered, unbiased Gridiron Gilly show. And I'm your host, Gridiron Gilly. Last week, week 6, we had some pretty good games, some upsets. A lot of teams in the top 10 lost and dropped in the rankings. And a lot of teams that weren't ranked, it was their time to shine, and shine they did. How do I say this? I'm not gonna knock the Alabamas and the Tennessees for losing, because Tennessee lost to, or both of them lost to conference opponents that suck, but nonetheless, it's still SEC football. And when you're that good, when you're ranked that high, those guys are playing their, that's their championship game. That's their Super Bowl. Their goal is to come in there and upset you. They don't care if they win another game. That's just their goal at that time, is to hopefully, when the game is over, you no longer are ranked, or worse, not even in the playoff picture. So Alabama, they took the L to Vandy. Vandy's, they threw that the goalpost in the river, starting to become a trend when Alabama gets upset. But that's just the way it is. That's the program that Alabama has built over the last 15 years. The house that Saban built, so to speak. But anyways, don't want to talk too much about last week, but I will just for a little bit, because I'm going to give you my winners and I'm going to give you my losers from week 6 college football. My number one winner from week 6 college football goes to Vanderbilt, because they upset the number one team in the country, and everyone said, "Dang, man, y'all lost to Vandy, y'all lost to Vanderbilt. I can't believe y'all let Vanderbilt beat you." Well, you know what I gotta say about that? Vanderbilt's not a bad team. I mean, granted, they probably are a bad team in the Southeastern Conference, but the way those boys are playing this year, that quarterback's a dog. He's not going to go to the NFL and do anything, but as a college quarterback, he's a dog. And if they were in any other conference, they'd compete. Any conference. They would win the Big 12. Maybe even the ACC. But anyways, Vandy, they beat Bama 40-35, so that's my number one winner. My number two winner goes to the boys down there in College Station, Texas A&M, because those dudes, like it or not, they dangerous. They beat Missouri 41-10 and just looked good from start to finish. Every facet of the game, offense, defense, special teams, coaching, cheerleaders, water boys, everybody was better on the A&M sideline than they were the Missouri sideline. I said this the other day to somebody. It's off the record, but now it's going to be on the record, and I'm okay with it. You can come at me later if you want. If I wind up being wrong, you can come at me all you want. But I really believe A&M's going to win out. And that last game of the season, when they play Texas at Cal Field, whether Texas has one loss or no losses at that point, I don't think Texas is going to have more than one loss. If Texas loses a game before that point, it's only going to be just one game. They won't have more than one loss at that time. But honestly, I have A&M picked to beat Texas. Right now, the way that they're playing, those boys are nasty. So, yeah, if you're going to come for me, do it later. After, if A&M doesn't do what I say they're going to do, then you can come for the jugular, wherever that's at. Come straight for it. Number 3 winner, because you can't always talk SEC football or Ohio State, you ain't gotta always talk about the top teams, okay? I watch all college football. I watch the the best teams in the country, and I watch the not so good teams, or the teams that no one really cares about. The ones who you get a ticket for $5, you know. So with that being said, my number 3 winner goes to the SMU Mustangs. I've been a supporter of that program for some years now. I follow that program. I love their head coach, Rhett Lashley. He's a great coach. And they just joined the ACC this year. This is their first year in the ACC. And, you know, they've been in that, oh, you're not going to be able to compete. This is where the big boys play, this, that, and the other. SMU is doing pretty good. They just knocked off Louisville last week, 34-27. I think Louisville was ranked 22 at the time, and SMU knocked them off. Now, when you look at it, SMU beat Louisville 34-27. Ohio State, you know, Oregon, Georgia, Alabama, Ole Miss. Maybe they play Louisville. Maybe they win by 4 or 5 scores. Who knows? But nevertheless, SMU is a good, solid program. And for them to be a smaller school, those guys are pretty scrappy and they play good football. So that's my number 3. And I do have an honorable mention because another small school, another program. I ain't followed them. This is my first year following them, only because I like their head coach. Their head coach was offensive coordinator at Alabama Birmingham for a few years. He was solid there. Left, went to New Mexico as a coordinator, and then he got his head coaching job at this program that got my honorable mention, and that is Louisiana Monroe. Louisiana Monroe just beat James Madison 21-19 last week, and you say, well, who cares? It's James Madison. James Madison, a few weeks ago, they put 70 up on North Carolina and beat them. The next week, I don't know what they did, but they won. They was undefeated, I'm pretty sure. Their quarterback was like putting up ridiculous numbers. And I mean, if he was a quarterback at any other program but James Madison, probably in the Heisman conversation easily. And ULM, they wrecked my parlay because of that, because I had James Madison picked to win by 17 or more, and did not happen. ULM beat them 21-19. So ULM's only losses to Texas, which is the number 1 team in the country. So shout out those boys. My losers from last week, this is going to get over quick. Number 1, Missouri, lost 41-10. I think they had the 2nd-ranked defense in the country at the time that they played A&M. Now, not so much. Oh, yeah. Wigman, I trashed that dude at the beginning of the season, but that dude balled out the other day. I guess he's healthy now. Sorry, Wigman, you're a dog. Number 2, Tennessee. Arkansas, that was their Super Bowl. They played Tennessee. They upset Tennessee. Tennessee dropped in the rankings. However, I still think they're a good team. They're a young team, young quarterback, and he's only going to improve. They're only going to get better from that point on to the rest of the season. I'm not sure who's left on their schedule, but Tennessee's going to be fine. My number 3 loser, the defending national champs, Michigan, because, in my opinion, they suck. Good run game, but you got to do more than run the football to win games in college football. Especially if you're going to be in the conversation for the playoffs. And Michigan can't do it. They can't throw the ball. They're one-dimensional. And they just lost to the team that they beat in the national championship. They just lost to Washington 27-17. So that's depressing if you're a Michigan fan. But who cares? Heisman Watch. I think last week I had Milroe at number 1. You can go ahead and kick him out. He's still a good quarterback. He's still elite. He's still the driving force behind the Alabama Crimson Tide offense. But that boy Ashton Jeanty, Boise State running back. That dude is nasty. That dude is nasty. Doing some ridiculous things. I was like, he plays for Boise State. You know, like, they don't really play nobody. It's a whack. That's a whack program. Kellen Moore played there. He put up ridiculous numbers. What did that dude do in the NFL? Absolutely nothing. Pretty good coordinator, though. But Jeanty, yeah, I was like, man, that dude plays for Boise State. They ain't nobody. Well, I watched a little bit of his tape. And that mother trucker, he can play some football. Number 2, Travis Hunter. I hate the program. They're too flashy for me. You know, they're not about college football at all. They're more about their own personas and NIL, that type of thing. And I've crapped on Colorado all year. I'm like, they're not good, you know, because last year they weren't good. And this year I'm like, they're not good. They don't, you know, they play okay. They got good offense, no defense, this, that, and the other. I looked at their daggum schedule. They've only got 1 loss, and it was to Nebraska. So I was like, what the heck am I talking about? Pretty good team. And Colorado, they play Kansas State this week. So if Colorado wins that game, they could very well crack the top 25. And then, yeah, so Travis Hunter, that's my number 2. Number 3, Cam Ward. Say what you want. Miami cheated the last 2 games. The refs bailed them out. Dude, shut your freaking mouth. If you believe that, you're an idiot. Cam Ward is a dog. He's what Miami's needed for a long time. Miami's had good quarterbacks in the past, but I don't know what it is about them suckers, but they go to the league too fast and don't do nothing with their life. They're probably all retired now and in accounting or something. But anyways, that's been 12 minutes of me talking about the past that no one cares about. Let's go to the future. This week, my fans picked 3 games for Gridiron Gilly Breakdown. And that's what Gridiron Gilly's about to do right now at this second. At the 12-minute and 26-second mark, here I go. Number 1, Texas, but versus, because they play neutral side, they play number 18, Oklahoma. Dude, this game, as good as Texas is, Texas could blow them out. Oklahoma, I see this game going several different ways. Texas is either going to blow Oklahoma out. Texas is going to win by like 5 or 6 points. Or Oklahoma is going to win by a few points. Oklahoma's not going to blow Texas out. I think Oklahoma's down this year. They may win some games, but I'm not impressed by them this year. They just don't have the talent. And their number 1 receiver, he's not playing this week. He's out. I'm not sure what the injury is or if it's even injury related. Maybe he figured they were going to lose and he was like, oh, I got strep throat. Who knows? But he's not playing. So Texas is so good at screwing up somewhere along the way, like just taking an L. Is this that point? Do they take it against Georgia? Do they take it against A&M? Do they wait till they get into the playoff and take it then? Who knows? But is Gridiron Gilly going to pick Texas to lose this week? No. Gridiron Gilly looked at this game, looked at the schedule, looked at what both teams have done. Arch Manning, apparently he's not playing this week. The boy Quinn is back. If he's 100%, I don't know. I don't think it matters if he was. I think Arch could win this game with no Quinn. That's not a problem. But I have Texas winning this game. And before I tell you what the score is going to be, I'll just give you the rundown. Texas is their last game. They're coming off a bye week. Their last game, they beat Mississippi State 35-13. Oklahoma, they're coming off a bye week. Their last game, they beat Auburn 27-21. So they both beat two of the worst teams in the Southeastern Conference. So Auburn's probably the worst team. At least Mississippi State's got a new head coach. Auburn's got Hugh Freeze. Ain't that the guy's name, Hugh Freeze? I think that's his name. Don't quote me on that. I think that's his name. But he's garbage. He sucks. Auburn's garbage. Shoot. But, yeah. So, Burks ain't playing for Oklahoma. Arch Manning or Quinn Ewers is playing for Texas. Give me Texas. I don't know what the spread is either, but I'm going to take Texas 57. And you say, whoa, that's a lot of points. Well, I think Oklahoma will turn the ball over. I think Oklahoma's going to turn the ball over a lot, and that Texas is going to capitalize off of that. Give me Texas 57, Oklahoma 19. If you disagree, let me know what you think. My number 2 game, this is the one I'm most excited about. Texas, Oklahoma doesn't excite me. This game right here does, because it's number 2 versus number 3 in the country, Ohio State at Oregon. You got the best team for the past decade in the Big Ten playing. I'm trying to think if Oregon has been the best team in the Pac-12 the last 10 years. I would say so. I mean, they went to a natty, and I'd say they're if they're not the best, they've definitely been one of the best teams in the Pac-12 the last few years. But Pac-12 dissolved. Oregon joined the Big Ten, and Ohio State's flying out there to Eugene to play these guys, the number 3 team in the country. How do I see that going? They're both good programs. I think Oregon's in the same spot that Oklahoma is this year, and that is they're a little down. And you say, how are they down? They're number 3 in the country. Well, they are number 3, and they deserve to be number 3. But after this week, they won't be. And they won't be 1 or 2 either. And you'll see what I'm talking about come Saturday. Oregon, good team. Probably playoff team. Because if they're as good as people think they are, this will be their only loss of the season. But Ohio State's just a different monster. That's a different program down there. I can't stand their head coach. I don't think he's any good. He just inherited a program that has already been established and is probably going to stay established. I could take that team to the playoffs if I was the head coach. But anyways, Ohio State's got the best receiver in college football, and he's a freshman. That's a hot take. It really is a hot take, I think. Ryan Williams from Alabama, he's a freshman. He may not be, Ohio State's receiver may not be the best. Jeremiah Smith, he may not be the best, but he is the best freshman. And you say, well, Ryan Williams is a freshman, and he's good at Alabama. Yeah, he is. But, hey, you flip a coin, heads or tails, it don't matter. Pick one. They're both good. They're both going to be first-round draft picks in a few years. And they're both going to have long careers in the NFL. One's going to play for the Patriots. The other one's going to play for the Raiders. It is what it is. Because both those teams suck. That's why I said that. But anyways, give me the Buckeyes in this one. Let me look at this. Let me look at the quarterback. Will Howard at Ohio State. 12 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Dylan Gabriel, 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Gabriel's thrown for a few more yards, but they're about the same TD to interception ratio. And then you got Judkins and James at running back. Both have 5 touchdowns. Looks like Oregon runs the ball more than Ohio State. But Okay, here we go. So you look at receiving yards. Um, Smith from Ohio State, he's got 23 receptions, 453 yards, 6 touchdowns. Not bad. You look at Johnson over at Oregon, he's got 5 touchdowns, 395 yards, but he's got 20 more receptions. So Oregon looks like they run the ball more. I'm not sure if they pass the ball more, but they certainly pass the ball to Johnson a lot. If he's got 43 receptions through 5 games, I'm not a mathematician or anything, but that's a lot of catches. About over 8 catches a game, average. It's pretty good. Man, I wish I was off work that night to watch that game. I might have to watch it while I'm driving. I'll be driving with one hand, I'll hold my phone in the other hand, and I'll watch it. I might have to do that. I don't know. But dang, man, I'm picking Ohio State to win by 20 points. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's everything that everybody wants it to be. I really hope it is. I wish I was off work. The only reason I hope it's a 20-point game is because I'm not going to get to watch it. If I was going to get to watch it, I would want it to be what everybody thinks it's going to be, and that is game of the year. Oregon's going to find their rhythm offensively, and they're going to be explosive. They're going to be up-tempo and move football. But I think Ohio State's just too nasty defensively. And I think this is what it's going to come down to is Oregon might start fast, but Ohio State's going to get the best of them sooner rather than later. Ohio State's going to win this game 37-17. And that's the bottom line. I'm not going to finish the rest of that quote because it might be trademarked by Stone Cold Steve Austin, but that's the bottom. That's the bottom. Shoot, man, I'm tired. I just got through watching the Seahawks-Niners game. It's a pretty good game. The Niners won, of course. My number 3 game I'm going to break down is number 9, Ole Miss, at number 13, LSU. Like I said, this is the undeniable, unfiltered, unbiased Gridiron Gilly podcast. I'm Gridiron Gilly. I'm the unbiased guy. Allegedly, I'm an LSU fan. But I don't think I picked LSU to win a game this year. I think I picked them to win against, who did they play week 1? USC. I think I picked them to beat USC, but they didn't. And then ever since then, I've picked against them because they don't have a defense. It's just the truth. LSU's offense, picking up where they left off last year, except for the quarterback is not mobile, but the quarterback's a stud. Let me give you some stats real quick. Jackson Dart at Ole Miss, he's got 2,100 yards, 13 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Garrett Nussmeier for LSU, he's got 1,652 yards, so about 550 yards less than Dart passing. However, he's got 15 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. So both these offenses are explosive. This is going to be, this game should be like 48 to like 42, 56 to 45, something like that, because of how explosive the offenses are and LSU not having a defense. However, I think both teams will play better defense this week because of the importance of this game and how much this game means. I think both teams just play hard-nosed football for 4 quarters, and the better team wins, and the better team is going to be the higher-ranked team, in this case, the visiting team. But anyways, running backs, you got Parrish. He's got 570 carries, or 570 yards, 9 touchdowns. Caden Durham has 3 touchdowns and 244 carries. Um, I think he just established himself as RB1 at LSU, and he's going to be great for a few years before he goes to the league. That's why his stats don't look as impressive as the other guys, because he just now became that dude at LSU. And then receivers, I always forget about this guy. However, after this week, I'm not, because I'm sure he's going to have a monster game. This guy is, I say this about a lot of people. Oh, this guy's the best at this position. Oh, this guy's the best. This dude literally might be the best at his position. And that is Ole Miss's receiver. I think his name's Trey Harris. He's got 885 yards on 5 touchdowns, 52 receptions. So the Oregon guy a while ago who had 8 receptions a game, Harris has more than him. Harris has played 5 games this year, and has he played 5 games or have they played more? No, never mind. I'm wrong. Ole Miss has played more games than that. I'm wrong. Shoot, I might have been wrong about Oregon too. No, Oregon has played 5 games, but Ole Miss has played 6. But either way, it don't matter. Harris has 52 receptions in 6 games, which is still. Let me think real quick. I'm just kidding. I can't do numbers like that. But it's a lot of daggum catches for a game. Puts up ridiculous numbers. LSU. I don't know who this guy is. Anderson. I was thinking it would have been Lacey, who's leading the team in receptions, or what's that dude's name who transferred from Liberty? He's pretty good too. I can't think of his name right now. I do like LSU, by the way. I'm not like a diehard fan, but I like them. Pretty good program. Don't like their head coach. He'll probably get fired eventually. But anyways, it's going to be 83 degrees whenever they kick off Saturday night. I don't think that matters. I think the boys from Oxford are going to go down there. And LSU's they're going to be tough because they're playing at home. But not Ohio State. I already covered that game. Sorry, I'm tired. Ole Miss is going to win this game. And I don't know what the spread is. I don't know what people are predicting this game as. I think if you predict Ole Miss to win by 3 points, 4 points, something like that, that's the closest it's going to be. I think Ole Miss is either going to beat these dudes by 17 plus because of LSU's lack of defensive play, or it's going to be a close, low-scoring game because of the significance of the game, how important this game is for playoffs. 2 of the top teams in the SEC, certainly 2 of the best offensive teams in the country, going toe-to-toe in the most hostile environment in college football. Going to be a phenomenal game, I feel like. And I'm taking the Rebels 32-27 at LSU. So there's my 3 games. Texas versus Oklahoma, I'm taking Texas. And Ohio State, Oregon, I'm taking the visitor. And Ole Miss at LSU, I'm taking the visitor. And I'm standing on that. I'm standing on business. And now I'm going to do a little rapid fire with you just because I care about my fans. I care about your pockets. I hope your pockets get deeper. And I was trying to think of something else to say, but I don't know anything else to say. But I hope your pockets do get deeper. Let me see real quick. Let me check out. Alrighty. So here, I'm gonna give you some rapid fire real quick. South Carolina at Alabama. Give me Alabama. Clemson at Wake Forest. Give me Clemson. Missouri at Massachusetts. Give me Missouri. Washington, Iowa. Give me Washington. Wisconsin at Rutgers. Give me Wisconsin. Georgia Tech at North Carolina. Give me Georgia Tech. Ball State at Kent State. I'm not even doing that game. Screw those games. I don't care. Penn State at USC. Give me the Nittany Lions. I don't think they're that good. They are number 4, but I don't think they're that good. Let's see here. We got Cal at Pitt. Give me Pitt. Alrighty. Arizona at BYU. Give me my Mormon brothers up there in Utah. Brigham Young University. That's my boys up there. In Provo, Utah. I love that. I love those. I don't know why I do. I wish I was a Mormon, man. I love that program. I love those guys. And you should too. That's that team that they come out there, they beat you, play good defense. They don't do anything flashy, but they come out there and they beat you. And plus, that's where Jimmer Fredette's from. And that dude was a solid hooper back in the day. Okay, so needless to say, sorry for my little spiel, my little soapbox. Florida at Tennessee. Tennessee's number 8 now. Florida at Tennessee. If it was Tennessee at Florida, I might would take Florida, even though Florida's garbage. Tennessee just got heartbroken, and I could see them getting heartbroken again in the hostile environment that is the swamp. However, Florida's going into Knoxville, and I think Tennessee's going to put that dong on them, physically and metaphorically. Any more other games that I want to do rapid fire on? Kansas State at Colorado. That's a 9:15 kickoff. I'm kind of intrigued by that one because I have shat on the Buffaloes all season, but they only have one loss. I think Kansas State's picked to win because they are the number 18 team in the country. However, I don't know if Kansas State's used to playing that late at night. And Travis Hunter, phenomenal. I think if, was it BYU that beat Kansas State? I believe so. I think if BYU can beat Kansas State with no flash, I think Colorado with all of their flash can beat Kansas State. So give me Colorado. Iowa State at West Virginia. Give me Iowa State. Iowa State's number 11 in the country. I don't know how. Haven't watched them play. I don't know nothing about them. I know Brock Purdy came from there. He's a pretty good quarterback. I don't like seeing Iowa State at number 11. That just don't sit right with me. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it at all. Anyways, that's all Gridiron Gilly's got to say about that. I doubt you're still watching this 34 minutes in, but if you are, God bless you. Ashton Jeanty going to win the Heisman at this moment. Things may change going forward, but as of this moment, Jeanty is my front runner. If the Heisman Award was honestly gifted to the most important player on a team, any team in the country, it would go to Cam Ward because you take Travis Hunter off of Colorado. Are they as flashy? No. But was Colorado in the playoff picture to begin with before Hunter? No. Jeanty, same thing. Take him off. Does a run game take a hit? Yes, it does. But were they anything to begin with? No. You take Cam Ward off Miami, what do you have? You have the Miami that you've had for the last 15 years, and that is a team that breaks your heart. And they have high hopes every year, but they break your heart. So Cam Ward should win the Heisman. But I would like to see running back get it. I wouldn't mind if Hunter got it. I would like to see somebody who's not a quarterback get it. Because sometimes they just give it to a quarterback just because they're a quarterback, but really they don't deserve it. And that's all I'm going to say about that.